Yes, Shauna, it's kind of one of your last low major games. What do you feel like you guys have accomplished over this month as you start to ramp up the schedule here?
Obviously, we've been through a lot, right? Dealt with injuries, dealt with different adversity, been on the road against a really good team in Marquette, played at a neutral site against a really good team in Notre Dame, had some home wins, and I think we learned some of the things we had to get better at. Obviously, we learned some defensive things. We got in a better groove offensively. And then we are now on kind of trying to get healthy trend. So trying to, stack some games with everyone together. So, it's all part of the journey. And we've learned a lot, good and bad. Obviously, we wish we had, one or so of those games back and but they're good teams. We lost to two really good teams, and obviously you see that in the top 25. And we're right there. We can compete with anyone in the country when we play up to our potential.
How is the schedule kind of laid out now that you've had a little more practice time at the back end of this? Like, how has that helped you guys maybe continue some of those fine-tuning things?
Yeah, you don't have a crystal ball when you make the schedule of knowing when you're healthy, when you're not. So it all is happening for a reason, and we're learning, and we're just taking it as we go. But it's been really nice to have some extended practice time for a couple weeks now. We had it since the last game. We had it over after the Notre Dame game, and I think we're really able to again stack days together of really good practice. Which this team still, like, we need it, and that was one thing I keep coming back to. Early on, I think I didn't do our team. I don't think I was right. I kept saying we're a veteran team. We're not a veteran team, and I've realized that throughout. We have older guys that have played and are seniors, but we're not a veteran team in terms of experience, in terms of their role, in terms of us being together. So we still have a lot to learn, and that's okay, and I'm okay with that.
You've obviously we're talking about rebounding. After the Notre Dame game, how impressed have you been with the response that you've gotten from your team the last couple of games in that regard?
I think it's been great. Obviously, we emphasize rebounding every day, always in our program, right? It's one of our core values. We defend, we rebound, and then we want to run and play really, really fast. So it's not like we're doing something different or not doing something. We address it, we talk about it, we drill it every day. So I think that it's just something that they got to do, and they got to continue to be disciplined in that. So we've done that the last few games. Now the big test obviously will be Sunday and how we can rebound, because obviously Michigan's one of the best rebounding teams in the country. So I'm really happy that we've done it the last few games, but Sunday is going to be a great test for us to see what we're made of and to see how much better and the progress we've made in the last couple weeks.
I know you talked about, when you're playing a team and you're up against them, just, that emphasis on continuing to play at that level that you expect them to be at. What does that kind of look like, and how difficult maybe is that for a team to kind of adapt to what you're looking for there?
I think it's always hard, right? When it's human nature, you're up 20, 30 points, and then you put in, different people, different combinations, and my expectation never changes, and I'm going to hold them. And sometimes those games I'm even probably harder on them, and because I want it to be so crisp and really be sharp and elite at what we're doing. And so I understand, that it's hard, but I also does not change our standard, our expectations of how we want to defend, how we want to flow offensively, the little things, how we do them. So sometimes those games are harder than people think.
We just talked to Camille. How have you seen her development and settling in over that first month?
I think every day she takes a step in the right direction. And I've said this to you guys multiple times. I think it's, you don't understand how hard it is sometimes as a grad transfer, that you're really used to a system, you're used to everything, and then you come into a totally different thing. So I give her so much credit because she's been so coachable and we've had multiple conversations of, hey, we need you to do this. And she knows, she acknowledges it, and then she goes and makes the changes and or works on what we're telling her. So she's getting better and better, and there's no doubt we're going to need her in Big Ten play, and she's going to be a super important piece for us. And I'm really happy with where she's at. I'm proud of her growth, and I think we're just kind of getting to where we're seeing some of what she can do, and there's a lot left in there.
You kind of referenced it earlier, but when you have all these players coming back, is it easy to maybe assume that the chemistry is going to be there right away? And how have you maybe had to adapt to try to build that? I know injuries obviously play a role in that as well.
No, and that's where I said, you do, and everyone kind of, you think, oh, well, they got their returners back or their starters back. Well, you don't understand too, like, let's say an injury, now people are in different roles. Now Jen's having to do this, now Jada's having to do this, and so on and so forth. So that plays a factor. And then also just, it's a new year, it's a new journey, and it doesn't just take off from last year. When you have new people in here, you have freshmen, you have transfers, and everything is different. And that's what's great about basketball, right? Every year is just a different journey with that team. So I think, at times we just expected, and I expected things to just carry on. And then I had to really take a step back too and be like, okay, remember this is a new year, a new journey, and we got to continue to just cultivate just like we did last year. And some things we obviously carried over from last year and we've learned from, but there's a lot of things we just got to continue to work at and treat this year like it's our first year, and treat every year like it's your first year.
Was there a moment maybe where that flip kind of the switch kind of flipped on for you, like you kind of realized that was the way that was going to have to be this season? Or
yeah, I think just for me, and to be completely honest, when you go through adversity with injuries, they're frustrating as a coach, right? And you want to be out there, you want to put your best foot forward, and you want everyone for obviously the team's sake, but then the individuals, you feel their hurt and their, frustration with being out. So I think I went through a couple days of really frustrated, and then I had to just take a look and be like, okay, this is, you gotta live out what you preach, and I got to take a step back and do a better job of leading them, and so that was just something that I had to do as a leader, because I always say it is what it is, and you're not going to be able to change that, and you can control only what you can control. So I think there's just a period during that is when I'm like, okay, I have to take a step back, and I got to do a better job.
Did you feel that trickle down to the team? Like when you came to that realization, did you feel a trickle down effect to everybody else here?
Yeah, I do. And that's what sometimes, again, as a leader, you don't I know it, but positive, negative, anything is they're going to feel you with that. So I think I did a better job after that of just, trying to keep them calm, so not adding any more pressure to them. These guys want to win. They want to be the best that they can be, and that's my job to try to bring that out of them and not take anything away or add any pressure or stress to them.
It looked like at the end of the game last week you were maybe calling some stuff for Shea to get her shots at the rim. Like, how close is she to pairing that? We see the energy and the rebounding with maybe more of that scoring, just for her to get comfortable.
Yeah, I was so happy with how she rebounded the other night. The energy and how she came in and just making it. We talk all the time. You can make an impact in so many ways. It doesn't have to be scoring. And rebounding and defending is one of them, and she did an elite job of that. But yeah, I tried to get her, I ran some sets for her, tried to get her some open looks. She didn't hit them, but I know what she's capable of. I see her in practice hitting them. So it's just kind of like that one game when she, scored those points. It's just going to take one, I think, to kind of go down in the game. And then you see that the rim get a little bit bigger. Sorry, just knocked you out. And then, she's capable of being a big-time scorer. I know that.
Is that the same thing with Makaira too? Just once she sees a couple of shots going in, and maybe have you had to preach patience with her, because she obviously knows how good of a player she can be, but
and that's another thing. I've just really tried to be overly confident, like instill confidence in her, overly positive with her. We're just, she's putting, if you think about it, like she has a lot of pressure on her, and I'm not saying she feels that, but just everyone expects her to be Makaira, and I understand that it's a process, and you were out for an extended period of time, so every day, the last couple of days, she's looked a lot just more comfortable, more like herself, We're trying to do different things, sending her videos of just all of, her making all the plays that Makaira makes, and she's gonna get there. There's no doubt about that. And no matter if she, again, I've said this, obviously we want her scoring her average and scoring 20, but she makes such an impact on the floor from so many aspects, even if she doesn't score a point.